Hello and welcome to the Build with Bear Workshop. My name is Pat Bear. I'm here to build a model kit and a Lego set, and I'm also here to hang out with all of you. I'm throwing the Bear Cave, the Lego, the site, the Tier 2 blue emote in the chat. If you are currently a subscriber, you can reply with those emotes. If you are not yet a subscriber, you can say hi. You can use other people's emotes. If you feel like being a lurker, go ahead and lurk. You don't have to say anything if you don't want to. Ghost Valve is here. Aristophan is here with that Tier 2 blue emote. Appreciate that. Welcome, everybody. Happy to have you here on this Saturday. It's a Saturday. That I can tell you. I can tell you definitively that for me right now, it's 9:05 p.m. on a Saturday. The stream has begun. I am finishing up the G-Armour. The RX-78-2 is almost complete. The G-Fighter is built. We'll put them together in some weird combinations because that's very fun. And we'll move on from there, and then we'll work on a Lego set that was bought as a belated birthday gift by Aristophan, the Lego Friends hot dog food truck, which we should, if not finish tonight, we will build most of, and then I'll move on to a model kit that was decided by my $10 patrons. That's the plan. I should say up top, I should just say this up top, connection could go bad here on this here internet. My internet disconnected around 7 p.m. tonight, and then again around 8 p.m. The first time was for several minutes. The second time was for a couple minutes. That could happen again. If it does, I will try to come back. Check my Twitter because I will, in my other social medias, because I will update there. I will just use my phone to text that. I will not stream via my phone. Lashbrook's here. Hello, Lashbrook. Because I could make my phone a hotspot and link it with my computer. I think that would be terrible, inefficient, and incredibly expensive. So I'm not going to do that to keep working on a model kit or a Lego set. But yeah, check my social media if if this disconnects for a length of period of time. My apologies if it does happen. The outage apparently took people by surprise. This was not a planned outage or anything like that. So hopefully it won't continue. We're going to talk about the thing, but right now let's just get to the overhead here. Here's the kit that we're currently working on. We got parts of the RX-78-2. We do have the completed G-Fighter right here. Both the tank part of it and the flying part of it are on the stand that comes with the kit, which are easily adjustable. So if we want to do something like this and give it some height, we could do that, which is fun, but I'll do the lower one for this one. We are going to do the silly versions of this kit, like where this part of the G-Fighter is replaced with the top half of the kit. That's very silly. I could put the legs inside the kit totally, and then you just kind of spin it around, and then it sits like that. That's very silly. We will do that, but we're going to get body complete on this kit first, so we'll get into that now. By doing the side skirts first, which will panel line as well. And then, yeah, we got a Lego set to build after that. In the second hour, we will talk about an anime that I am covering on a weekly basis, Dungeon People, and a show that I watched the first episode of, and I am not going to give you the play-by-play because I don't think I'm going to continue to watch it. I will say this here, at least one person has reached out about this show, because I did not mention it when I was covering all of the many anime that are isekai, the subgenre of isekai. And I mentioned that I wasn't sure if I was going to be watching No Longer Allowed in Another World. And after watching the first episode and realizing through context, which again, I did not include in my video about all of the isekai throughout the season, I did not include the fact that it is based, obviously a fantasy series, but it is about a real person. They did and that is weird, and that makes it interesting, but also less interesting at the same time. But we'll talk about that in the second hour. I guess later we'll talk about my night out, the very good food that I ate, the very poor service that I experienced, how I had to go back into. I got New York Pat. New York Pat came back a little bit, where I was insistent on things that needed to happen, and I was not willing to. I was not Southern at all. Now, because of course, I'm not a Southern boy, but I've been living in the South now since 2020, and I have adopted some of their ways, or at the very least, I have understood their ways, where you ask questions, you ask for favors, but there's no, you don't want to hear a no, you want to get a yes for it. I didn't behave that way. I behaved more like a New Yorker, where I was like, this is what's going to happen, and I would like this to happen as soon as possible. I just like had to put my foot down because of poor service. So I did that. That was yesterday, and we will talk about that. But I guess we got to start off with the president got shot at, or the former president got shot at. Let's be, he is still President Trump, but he's former President Trump. Donald Trump got shot at a rally. Someone, not him, is believed to be dead. Another injured. They quote unquote got him. They got the shooter. All of this information is still coming in. It is still not verified by many third parties. Yes, or vice president, depending on who you ask. Yeah. It is still unclear. A lot of this is still up in the air. We will hear more about these things as they progress. The latest I saw was that the blood is not a bullet grazing him. It is glass breaking. That is one thing that I have heard. Again, we don't know. That the Secret Service, this was shot outside their perimeter, which feels like I don't know, but that seems weird. That seems like a weird thing. A variety of things. We will not get into too many specifics on it because, again, we don't know. We just know that there were sounds. He was bleeding. The Secret Service had him. They were moving him. He overhears something and then starts doing his fight chant and nonsense. Does this rally people who were unsure of who to vote for? Probably not. Does it reconfirm anything for anybody? Possibly. Does it make... Here's the one thing I'll say. There are people out there, because they listen to the dumb words that other people say, there are people out there who think that all elections are rigged. And maybe they weren't going to vote for Donald Trump. Maybe they weren't going to vote for Donald Trump because they weren't going to vote for anyone. Because the idea that, hey, elections are rigged, but also go out and vote, doesn't sit with everybody the same way. You know what I mean? But an assassination attempt, which is what you can perceive this to be, I think rightfully, that does hit them in. They don't like what he's saying. They don't want him, the capital T, they. That does hit some people that may rally those people. I think that is a reasonable thing to think of. That feels like a conclusion I don't feel weird about making based on the world and what I understand of it. I will say the calls of denouncement of it, I am not opposed to. I will say the idea of saying that there's no room in America for political violence is laughable. The country was founded on political violence. It is part of our history, and to say it is not is short-sighted. It is a lie. It's just a lie. It's a lie to say that that there is no place for political violence in our country, because our country has a history of political violence, right down to the current president allowing for a genocide to have, supporting a genocide to happen in order to appease a man who openly hates him. So I don't necessarily I am not going to say anything to that effect. I am certainly not going to stand here. Ooh, this does not connect the way I thought it did. How does this connect? One thing this kit doesn't necessarily do is tell me how to connect it together. Because, like, oh, you know what it is? I have to remove this piece. This piece exists for when you connect it. This isn't the actual chest piece. This is the other version of the chest piece that doesn't have a bottom for the thing. This is the part of the chest piece that you connect and the waist when you want to have a complete kit. Hey, just another spicy, happy to have you here. There's so much weird with this kit that I didn't even notice that was there. This kit has so much fucking weird to it. But now we're body complete on the kit, and now it's just all gravy and extra weird shit we can do with it, which we will do extra weird shit. No, you cannot connect them to make a very long Gundam. You have this is the chest piece connector that is the core unit folded in half, if you want that. This is the chest piece if you just want the chest piece to end. This is the chest piece you need if you want the whole kit together. And then we can put the whole kit. We could take this thing apart, which we won't right now. Well, we will. I do want to take a photo of these two things together. But you can unfold this bottom part here and stick the whole legs in there, which we will do. Also, this track likes to pop up, and I can't fix that. And it really annoys me. But whatever. At some point, I do need to take a photo of these two things together, which I think we'll do now. We'll build the weapon, which we don't need. We don't need the weapon. But we will build the bazooka, because it's nice to have a bazooka. And then I guess I'll do the shield the quote unquote the right way. I'll take this extra piece off this and put on the smaller one. Every part of this kit is weird. But anyway, it's a strange times we live in, strange worlds, odd things. I don't have like a lot of things to say about hey, I'll tell you this, friends. I don't have a hot take on a shooter. I just don't. I'll tell you this. I'm currently on several job hunts. I continue to be on the job hunt. I'm on that job grind. So on social media and in public places, easily readable public places, I certainly would not talk about anything that might get me on a list. I came here specifically for hot takes on news and anime. I mean, Imjan, I do have hot takes, and we will get into some hot takes. Like, I have hot takes on Techland, if you want that, because since Thursday's stream, we have had no more substantial layoffs in the game industry. But they're definitely coming because Techland is doing a dumb shit. So we will get into that dumb shit because they're making they're pulling some dumbness. So we will talk about Techland and their dumbness. But I don't specifically have public hot takes that I'm going to make about that. I will say, going to a Donald Trump rally does not mean that you should be subjective to any sort of violence. I'll say that. I'm going to say that. I think you going there, look, are there people at a Trump rally that are awful people that I would fucking hate to talk to? Of course. Of course there are. Are there people that are there to cover the events, to do interviews because a family member brought them along? Yeah, there are some people there that I bet are, if they're not working and are just there, I bet I don't hate. I might, but I bet I don't hate. Again, I might. But yeah, just being there is not that is certainly not something that I'm like, that doesn't, no. I don't want to see people die at a political rally in that way. People that are attending a political rally, I don't need to have that happen to them. And I don't think that's a particularly hot take in that way. Other things that I could or could not say, I will not say, because again, I am actively, consistently looking for work, and I have not been told to my face or in an email at any point that what I do online has had an effect of people not going for where I'm what I'm doing here, right? Like, I am a comedian who does not do comedy as much anymore, but certainly has in the past. And I am, my thoughts do not reflect my current or future employers. I do understand that tweets could impact my status as an affiliate, right? Like I could talk shit about Twitch to the point where Twitch was like, hey, we don't want you here. And like, yeah, I mean, that would suck. It would be awful for me if that happened. But like, yeah, if I was just like, I mean, they don't need a reason. They could just decide they don't want me here and I would be gone, right? But certainly if my saying like, oh, this is too little too late and these things are a real issue and blah, blah, me being critical of this particular site, and they were like, what if you weren't an affiliate anymore? And I'd be like, fuck, okay, well, shit. Hopefully people will support me on Patreon or whatever. But any of these sites, like totally, it's like, yeah, all right, sure. People don't want to work with me in a capacity because I said something. Like, yeah, that sucks, but like, I get it. Free country. Like, there's not a government mandated streaming site yet. But there isn't. So it's like, yeah, all right. It's like, yeah, I get it. And I don't, begrudge anyone that uses humor in any way, shape, or form, or not humor, that are just like, I don't know, I'm going to say some shit. Like, yeah, go for it. Do what you got to do. I don't know. I was literally talking yesterday about how, like, I know some people that are really upset about shit on not co-host, sorry. There's people upset about co-hosts. But I know some people are really upset about shit that's going on Blue Sky, and I'm like, you could just, like, no one should feel like they're being bullied off of a social media platform. But at the same time, if I was like, well, I'm done with fucking Blue Sky tomorrow, I would not feel bad about it. Because it's just fucking Blue Sky. And I don't give a shit about Blue Sky. So like, if I got banned from Twitter, that would be a bit of a bummer because that is still where I have the most reach. Because some people I know don't use it anymore and they use other sites. But there are still a lot of people that pay attention to what I say on there. And so they will be able to find me on there. And I'm like, okay, that's still an avenue for me to find things, or for people to find me and what I'm up to and into. So like, sure, I will continue to probably use Twitter until it eventually erodes fully and completely, or make it clear that I don't get to use that site anymore. But like, if something goes weird with co-host or Blue Sky or Mastodon, holy shit. I do not give a fuck if I get banned from Mastodon. I ain't gonna bat an eye. If like people decide that I'm not cool and they don't want me on Mastodon anymore, I'm gonna be like, oh, I don't like getting dogpiled on. Like, I don't like getting bullied, but like, are you gonna bully me off Mastodon? Oh no. What will I do now? Come on. Willow Nightingale just won the CMLL Women's Championship. Nice. That is a terrible political move, but also sure. That screams, please don't be mad at us because the woman that we put on your programming that you probably wanted to offer a contract never wanted to go to UAW. Please don't be mad at us. What if Willow was the champion? That feels very reactionary, but also cool. Also cool. Good for Willow. It is her second belt that she won outside of AEW. That feels very weird that she has it, but it's still cool. But it is the second time she has won a belt, and you're like, okay. I'm going to take a photo here because I have finished the RX-782. This RX-782 is built. I'm going to take a photo of this, and then we're going to build the weirdest version of this. We're going to combine them together to make the weird version. Why did I close my phone? I have to keep taking photos. So then we got this version here. And now I will figure out how to put these two things together in a way that is very stupid, and I'm very excited about. We are going to do this. So I know this goes... This is going to disconnect from this, so we can do that. I know that's how that works. This is going to come off. This is going to go like this because we want it on a sharp angle. So this is going to go into here. We know that part. Now I have to figure out how this goes into there. All right, we'll do this after. But anyway, yeah, I am not going to fucking freak out about a social media thing, a problem with a social media thing. I'm like, yeah, I can't be freaked out about that. All right, so then we're gonna take this off. This goes off. All right, let me tell you, now that we talked about that, let me tell you about my night last night. So my uncle is in town. We have been visiting with him. It has been lovely to have him here. We want to take him out for Italian food. We went to a place that is small, very well liked. We have been there a bunch of times. We enjoy it quite a bit. Again, small venue. We make a reservation. We're going to go. It's going to be a good time. We're going to have fun there. We know that this place is small, and also everything is fucking made fresh. Like made to order, made fresh. All right, how does this work here? Just kind of goes in, right? Yeah. It kind of shows you how it goes, but this is supposed to fit in here, so we're gonna, these parts are not doing what it needs to do. Maybe I can do this the other way. I'm just gonna take these parts off here because I can't seem to get these to fit right. This is supposed to go in like this. Yeah, okay. Anyway, so we know the service is going to be fairly slow. Like, we're aware of that because everything's made fresh and it's going to take a while. The place is packed. We do have a waiter who is taking our orders. There appears to be, in this restaurant, that seats like, I don't know, let's say it seats like 15, 20 tables. It appears that there are two wait staff, a waiter and a waitress, and then there are multiple people that are they are bussing tables, but they are also doing things like bringing out salads, like bringing out bread. They are assisting, right? They're clearing. They're saying like, oh, can I take these plates? The wait staff seems to be mostly taking orders. That seems to mostly are things like taking drink orders, fulfilling drink orders, right? Because some of these people that are doing extra stuff definitely do not appear to be legally old enough to pour you a drink. And I can, the waiter comes in, he knows all the specials, he rattles them all off, he takes our order, he makes a suggestion of things. He seems to really know what he's talking about, really know what he's doing. I am happy to hear him talk about the various things that he can offer us. And it seems like everything is going pretty well. And we get our food, and that's almost the last time we talked to the waiter. Drink refills come from somebody else. My uncle who's staying with us currently does not get his wine refilled because the person who we ask finally, because I cannot flag down this waiter, the person that we ask finally is unable to fill a drink order like that. All he can do is tell the waiter, And I can hear the waiter like behind me talking to people, taking orders. I cannot get this part to sit. We are probably not going to do this part of it this way. We are going to do the other way of putting this together because I cannot get this to fit in this part here. We are going to recreate the thing I need to do. I think we're going to have to do it. How do I do it then? If I can't put this in there, how do I do that part? Because that goes like that. That goes like that. Let me see if there's any other way to do half this kit in there without putting the full kit in there. Oh, now this says there's this way we can do it, which is to take this piece off. Maybe we could do it like that, and then I can just spin it around. That seems to be a way to go. As an uncle who was in an Italian restaurant with my brother and his kids, did not get a wine refill as well. I feel for him. Well, there you go. So wine refill doesn't come in. You know, we're all feeling pretty annoyed with how everything is going with this. Okay, so this opens. This goes down like this. I'm trying to tell all of this while also getting this completed, and that's been kind of frustrating here. Maybe this part comes out. Yeah, and we have to do that, and then this has to go here, like that. Make it a crotch. I don't know. Okay, yeah, this is not right, but this is kind of how it should go. All right, so at the very least, I got this far with it. I'm trying to do the one weird thing about this kit, and it doesn't seem to want to let me do the one weird thing about this kit, which is having the G-Fighter be like crotching it. Doesn't seem to want to let me do that, which is very annoying. Anyway, eventually we want 2 cappuccinos. My mom and my uncle want a cappuccino, which we can get. And eventually I get a waiter to come and do that. And then eventually, or I get a staff member to do that. The waiter comes by and I go into New York mode. I have not done this in a while. I don't know if I'll ever do it again. Here in the South, I have been predominantly doing things differently. I have been doing things the Southern way and not the New York way. But I get into full Pat Bear is a New Yorker mode where I'm basically just like, hi, we would like 2 cappuccinos and the bill as soon as possible. Just flat out. No inflect, no change in my voice. When you get a second, when you can, these are the things that need to happen. We need 2 cappuccinos and we need the bill, because I am afraid that if we do not get the bill from this waiter, I will never be able to flag him down again, because he is taking orders and he's got other tables. He's got to get all these things going, right? He does not bring us our cappuccinos. Someone else brings us our cappuccinos. When they do, I say, thank you so much. We also need the check as soon as possible. We eventually do get the check from our waiter, but not from our waiter, from the other waiter that is working there. A waitress eventually brings us the check. We never speak to our waiter again. Once I rudely tell him what needs to happen, we never see him again. We just never, ever talk to him again. He just does not come back, and we have someone else bring us our check because we are clearly mad at this waiter, which, to be fair, I am mad, but that is unrelated to what's happening there. There is one bit of detail here that I have not given that is a bit of context that I feel is important, so I will mention it now. And that bit of context... Okay, so this has to be here, though. Shit, this has to be here. Can I put this in now? This has to be here so I can connect it like this. Okay, I can do that. All right, I'm just going to do it like that. This is not exactly how this is supposed to go, but I can't figure out another way to do it. The context I need to give you is, while we are waiting, while we are talking to other wait staff who are not waiters, who are just employees there. They're not bus boys. They're doing more than a bus boy is doing. Near us, basically outside of the path. Like our table is here. There's a row of tables here and tables here. This table here, right across from us, is the owner of the restaurant. And he is talking to two couples that got there they had finished eating before we sat down. And they were there the entire time we were there, just hanging out, talking about recipes and talking to the owner. And I'm like, at first I was like, I don't want to cause a scene because this person's boss is right there. And as I'm getting more and more frustrated, I'm like, do I want to just tap this owner on the shoulder and let them know my thoughts? And I'm like, that's too New Yorker. I don't want to go that far New Yorker, because I should make this clear. Y'all know me. I occasionally have bits and bouts of being a pissed off person, but I don't cause scenes in restaurants. I will write a bad review. I am the guy that tells people not to go to places because I had a bad time there. That's me. Like if somebody brings up this restaurant in the future, I will say, oh, we had a really shitty time there. Make sure that when you get your food, you pester them about the bill because your waiter might never come back. Like, I will say that now forever about this one restaurant because we had such bad service. Yeah, I think this is on backwards, and I don't know if I like this, but is this going to be... Can I do it another way? Can I slightly do it another way? Maybe I can... Yeah, because I know the legs will fit in this way. So what if I turn the... No, I can't turn the legs around. Because this is how it should go in. So maybe I can get it in like this. Let me try one more time to see if I get it sitting like this. Yeah, okay. I think that'll work. Well, no, then it's the wrong way. Then it's facing the wrong way. So maybe I can't get that to work. Let me try one more time. I did have it a way that sort of worked, but it's not perfect. So I'm going to try it one more time, and we'll see if I can get it to fit in this. Because this just doesn't seem to... Okay, there we go. We got it there. It's now somewhat in. I am not the person that, like, confronts anyone at restaurants. I usually just let people know, I'm very disappointed in what happened here and all of that. I have had a manager come by on occasions in New York to talk to me or to talk to someone I was with because there was an issue. I have certainly experienced that before, and I'm sure that'll happen again. So we did not go in. I did not flag down the manager to explain my thoughts and feelings on this particular thing. I tweeted about it, so I will say, because I didn't have a good time with that part, but I still want to say some of the best veal parmesan I've ever had. An incredible plate of veal parmesan. Have not had that in quite some time. It was excellent. I feel blessed to have eaten it because it tasted so goddamn good. It was not worth the trouble. I will say that. Fresh linguine. That was fantastic. Salad was refreshing. The bread was very good. I'll say this part. Here's my other Pat Bear complaint. They do the whole bread and olive oil. They got a nice olive oil on a plate there. You can dip your bread in olive oil. They also mixed in that olive oil balsamic vinegar. And some people like oil and vinegar. I don't, and I feel like those should have been two different plates. Or two little containers, and you put it together yourself. Because I don't think anyone at the table really wanted the balsamic vinegar. But we didn't. We would have liked the oil. That's a small thing. And, that's their call, I guess. Anyway, let's look at the weirdest thing you can do with this kit, which is this. So we've got the rockets of the G-Fighter with the Gundam, the RX-78-2 sticking out of it. And that's the weirdest thing we can do with this kit, in my opinion. There's other things that could happen with this, but that's the weirdest thing. Also want to point out, at no point in this do they have photos. They have a illustration of the RX-78-2 kind of like riding, which is from the anime. That is not something that you can do on this kit. There's an illustration, but not the actual rendering of it. You can do this, the variations of it, all of that. But you can't, this thing, as I we've got here, But you can't do the thing I want to do most, which is have it go for a ride. Anyway, I was frustrated with that part of dinner. This kit is done. I'm going to take a photo of it. It's very silly. Lashbrook, this is just too wide for you to do it. This part of the kit is too wide for it to... And also, there's no pegs. There's no pegs for it to stay on there. I could, theoretically, put the RX-78-2 on this and have it like kind of surf, but there aren't... It's not designed to ride on it. Because it has to be wide enough for the RX-78-2 to fit in it, which is not show accurate, because in the show, they can make it thin enough for it to stand on. But they can't do that in real life because then it wouldn't fit in there. So they chose be able to stuff your kit in there over being able to comfortably ride on it with like pegs or something, which I wish they had done because that would have been cool. Anyway, this kit is silly in a way I really like. And dinner was really fun, but I was frustrated with the service towards the end of it. Which I think I've explained well enough. Anyway, it was really good. My dad also had veal. He brought home a bunch. I ate the whole damn thing. You can find it on my Twitter. Big old. Ooh, going to an Italian restaurant. I love a big old square plate filled with meat and cheese and sauce. Love that. Oh, the pasta's a small amount on the side. Sign me the fuck up. It ruled. This thing is weird. Final thoughts on the Gundam unit G-Armour, which is the G-Fighter and the RX-78-2. This is the weirdest RX-78-2 I've built, including the revive in that. Overall, it is a silly kit that I would love to see a remake of that's a little bit better. I think a modern version of that would be very fun, because it is kind of jank. But as a design, very, very cool. A cool thing. And now we will build a Lego food truck. Moving on to the Lego food truck. Here it comes. Thank you, Aristofan, for buying this as a belated birthday gift. It's very kind of you. Appreciate it very much. Oop, we got bag 1. We got bag 2. And we've got... Oh, weird. So this kit is not going to take long to build because it does feel like it is like... Oh, yeah. Okay. Bag 1 and 2 each have their own directions. But the fact that like this part is in there, this feels like very like, hey, Lego's pretty cool. We'll tell you all about it. This kit has very like kids first, kids like second or third Lego set. It's a 4+ kit. Yes. This is like, this might be someone's first Lego set. This is a group build project. It does seem fun but also like pretty straightforward. I don't think we're going to finish this today, but we will definitely finish it on Monday stream. All right, so we need bag 1 and we need bag 1, and then we need this as well. Is this part of the first step? No, the first step is make the girl. We do have Leo and Kea. They are friends. They are part of the Lego Friends right there. They have names. I believe there are 8 friends. There used to be 5 or 6, and then they introduced new friends. They revamped it, so we got some new friends hanging out with us tonight. The idea of a non-licensed minifig having a name is interesting to me. You don't see that too often outside of like Ninjago or something like that. But yeah, basically this kit appealed to me, 1, because I've never built anything from Lego Friends. And the minifigs looked really interesting. And 2, I wanted to build this because, of course, I've built 2 different burger trucks and an ice cream, different ice cream things, and a slushy van. And I've built a lot of vehicles that are also food trucks. And I thought it would be fun to also build one of these. Because it seemed neat. It seemed like a fun thing to put together. So we're going to build that tonight. As I'm starting to knoll this, I'm going to we'll do bag 2. We'll do all of it. As I attempt to get the knolling process done here, we will again make sure the bag is empty. The bag is empty. I will take a look at some news here. So the makers of Dying Light, Techland, um, basically, they're, because of COVID-19, they went from a work from home thing, right? Well, they have 2 offices, and they're like, we really need to bring people back to the office. And I get that. Now, there have been people who, in order to continue to work at Techland, moved out of the country because they could do their job from home. There have been people that have been hired since they went all work from home that didn't have to move to take the job. So they didn't move. The big thing I want to point out here for the Polish team is that leadership only found out 24 hours before they had to tell everyone. They've been talking about hybrid stuff for a while. This mandate, they moved out of the cities or even the countries because they went to cheaper places. But the main issue is going to be that Warsaw, which is where they have one of their offices, the other office they have is Wrocław. Neither of them can support all of the fucking employees that Techland has at once. There are not enough bathrooms in Techland Warsaw for even apparently 70 staffers to use. So they are not designed for that. But apparently, they want people to be like, oh yeah, well if you want to work from home, you just have to ask. It's like, no, that's not what you've been saying. You may remember that Rockstar went fully back to office because they were trying to get. They did that because they were like, well, GTA 6 has to come out in 2025, so everybody's got to come back to the office. Lord Crashington, 60 stream streak is a lot of streams. Thank you, appreciate that. It's very, very cool. Thank you for that. Let's see. Yeah, they have about 500 people that work at Techland. So not even talking about the people that don't live in those 2 cities. Let's just talk about even if all of the employees lived in Wrocław or Warsaw. Even if all their employees lived there in the same cities that they operate in, there's not enough fucking room there. So that's my this is not feasible. Also, again, this is not a story about layoffs, but shit's probably going to happen at Techland. This is not a good sign. This is not what you want. You don't want to hear about that when you're talking about a company. They're like, oh well, yeah, there's going to be some fucking shit at this company, very clearly. Let's see. In Techland's instance, apparently hybrid reportedly means overseas staff come to the office 8 working days out of every 2 months. And everybody else has to work there 3 days a week in the office if you're in the same city. And they won't be able to handle that. The idea that if you live overseas, you've got to come to work in the office 8 days out of every 2 months, feels so arbitrary and weird and not enforceable. Oh yeah, well you only came in 6 days in the last 2 months, so we're gonna have to write you up. Okay, it just seems very unfeasible and unreasonable. So good luck to Techland. It may be a way to thin out your payroll, as I said, Lord Crashington. This may be a secret thing not a secret thing, but a plot to reduce the workforce, as people say no, and they are thus in breach of directives from the company as they refuse to travel to the country of Poland, for a week and a day every 2 months just to show their faces. It may be an attempt to get people to just stop working there. I don't know. It is a rough circumstance, and hopefully things will work out for the many employees of Techland. Let's see. Is there other news stuff we can talk about? Yeah, Lord Crashington. We talked about it, and I am not going to talk about what we talked about at the top of the stream anymore, because I don't want to. So I'm not going to. But we did talk about it. And that is what I will say to anyone coming into the stream at any point tonight. I did talk about it, and I don't want to anymore, so I won't. Thank you, Lord Crashington, for the dance button. I will redeem that dance button. Thank you for using your channel points for something silly like this. Oh, yeah. Get that marching band sounds. That's the sound we've been looking for, is the marching band. Boom, boom. Yeah. Here's another cute Friends set. If you like hamsters, there is another Lego Friends set that I have been linked to, which is a whole giant hamster habitat where much of the habitat seems to be designed for people rather than hamsters. That's a wild thing. The hamster playground. Lego Friends Hamster Playground is a wild looking set. That is, yeah, that's cool. That's pretty neat. Let's see. Is it on Amazon? Is it on Amazon? No. It is currently not on Amazon. There are other ones that look similar. There's Olivia's Hamster Playground, which is different. And yeah, and then there's also Lego Friends Cat Playground Adventure, which seems to be a very small set. There's also Lego Friends Pet Adoption Day and Starlight Camping Vehicle Adventure Toy. Also, I've been calling them minifigs. I should say these are not minifigs. These are mini dolls. They do have the regular hands, as mentioned by Lashbrook, and that is weird. These are mini dolls, and I don't like that. They should just be called minifigs, even if they look different. There's a lot about this set that I'm not the biggest fan of, and that's a little bit high on the list, is the choice to call them mini dolls. I don't like that as the official terminology. I keep saying it out loud, even though I don't like it. But and that hasn't changed. I still don't like it. Let's see. People are playing The First Descendant. It is a free-to-play game. Apparently, it has had about 10 million players in its first week. That game is free-to-play. It seems incredibly free-to-play. It is somewhere between Genshin Impact and Warframe. There are a lot of ladies, and you could spend a lot of money to make your ladies better, and go about that business, that dark business, if that's your thing. The more I watched Jeff Gerstmann play it, the more I was convinced that this is not for me, and also I will say, not fun to watch. And that's just the genre, basically. I'm not super into the games that have like 1,000 menus that are all for shit that doesn't matter, but maybe it does matter. Like, that's just not my style of game. It did not seem particularly interesting to me. It seemed to be obfuscating things on purpose in order to get you to make a mistake that would cost you money to correct, that kind of a thing. It just did not personally appeal to me. And whereas often I can be like, oh, I get why people would like this. I cannot really say that I totally get why people are like into this. I did not feel that way in watching people play. But apparently enough people are taking a look at it. Will that lead to long-term success? I don't know. 10 million people is still a lot of people, even for a free-to-play game. Does that mean that any of them are spending money? I'm sure people are. I'm sure people are spending money to move stuff up and around. But the loop just didn't seem quite what I would want. out of a game, the loop, and you want the loop to be good because you want people to keep wanting to play it. We're gonna jump to bag 2 here, the instruction book 2, because we got to make our other person here. So we got to do that. I don't like these mini dolls. There's something about them. It might be the hands, as Lashbrook pointed out, but I don't know. There's just something about them that I'm not into. I'm glad we're doing a Lego Friends set because we haven't done one. So I'm glad we're checking it out. I also don't know why this is a hot dog cart. Why are there orange dogs and black dogs? I understand the red dogs, but why? What's up? Yes, Lord Crashington. This is a Lego set. This is Lego Friends. Lego Friends is a Lego line. This is not one of those weird kits that we're doing. This is a line that was targeted at young women as an introduction to them to Lego, which sold very well. It's been a product line for about 10 years now and has sold well. Yes, the hot dogs are big. Well, that's the thing that always happens. That's always happens in Lego, is that the food that is created is always unbelievably big because the scale is never right. In the same way that there are some kits that you don't, like there are car kits that don't come with minifigs because a person wouldn't fit in there. But let's look at this. This frying pan is technically to scale. The hot dog would not fit in it. So this frying pan that is ostensibly going to be used in this hot dog food cart, the hot dog wouldn't fit in. And that's not a problem because who cares? Because it's just Lego and build the thing. But like this money, this $100 is bigger than the frying pan because scale is an illusion and it's bullshit and who cares? But the money is as big as the frying pan. So I guess the frying pan is, I guess you could say either the money is huge or that frying pan is decorative and not an actual in-universe frying pan. You could say that. Step 1, get the big piece. Step 2, put the big piece here. So this is, again, this is a 4+. I am not going to rag on the fact that the instruction booklet is like, find 2 pieces, put them in your hand. We'll show you here. Find 2 pieces, put them in your hand. Now, place those 2 pieces. So I am not going to rag on this instructions being incredibly basic because the target audience of this is a young woman, again, or a young girl. Again, it could be anybody, but this is who they're trying to target with Lego Friends. So this is very much like a beginner kit, and I understand that, and I get that, and I'm not trying to be cynical or weird about that. There are other things that I could be cynical and weird about. That is not that. So we won't dump on them for that kind of thing. Let's see. Is there any other video game news that I want to get into here tonight? I don't think so. I'm gonna refresh. Yeah, there was a slow games over the weekend. Games news sites usually don't. Hey, Vicky, welcome. Games news sites usually don't have like a lot. Over the weekend anyway. Pre-patch. There is a World of Warcraft expansion coming. I am prepping for that. We will be taking a look at that at the end of the month. Basically, it comes out, I believe, the 23rd, and we'll be looking at it on the 30th. I'll stream on the 30th because I want a week to check out new decks because I could play the day it comes out, right? I certainly could check it out the day it comes out and be like, oh, hey, here is some of the new cards. Here's the new deck. But I don't know what the new decks are going to be. I don't know what decks I want to play with the new cards. So that way I can get a week to figure it out. I should point out here, this is not a decal. This was just on it. I did not apply that. There are no decals on this kit because it is, again, an introductory kit. So I think that looks cool. There we go. All right, so we put that there. We put that there. Then we've got these have to go on. We're doing the illusion of this being a hot dog in a hot dog truck, food truck. Let's see. If you have PS Plus or a certain level of PS Plus, you can play Concord this weekend. So let me know how that is. Okay, so then we need one of these. This is just kind of, again, the instructions just kind of gives me like, here's the pieces you need. Here's what to do with them. Very straightforward and easy Lego set. I think we are going to finish this kit on this stream. I know what I'm building next. I don't have it in front of me, but it is within an arm's reach, so we can always get that if need be. Apparently, having some connection issues here. Not dropping any frames, but my kilobits are dropping. So there's some issues there. My apologies for that. Lorca Ashington asks, has there ever been a Wienermobile Lego? I do not believe so. I do not believe Lego has ever had the Wienermobile license. I believe this, what we are building right now, is the closest thing to that, which is, of course, the hot dog food truck, because that's what we're building at the very moment. Actually, there have been Lego ideas for it, of the Wienermobile. It looks like various people have done it themselves. The Lego Ideas Wienermobile was pitched all the way in 2022. And apparently the submitted idea for it was the 2011 update of the Wienermobile. And I don't think it got approved, because also they'd have to license it. So yeah, I would like to see how they make a $250 Oscar Mayer Wienermobile kit. Yeah, I mean, again, it does not seem like that ever existed, but there have been the Lego Ideas, which is the like people are like, oh, here's how you would make it if you wanted to make it, Lego. And then Lego is like, thank you for these free ideas. We will maybe do something with this, or maybe we won't. Or maybe not, brother. Who knows? But yeah, as far as I know, there's not been an official Wienermobile. It's not part of their licensed properties. Let's see. Is there anything else I want to say here before we keep going? Yeah, run it by the numbers people to see if it's making enough money. I mean, that's really what it is. Like, is this a financially viable thing? Is this a thing we could do? Does it make sense for us to do it? If we reached out, who would we reach out to? Are they interested in working with us? Would the licensing stuff make any sense? Would they want to pay us money for this to happen? Because we don't want to pay them money for it to happen. Can we make some sort of deal? And all of that. And at the end of the day, do Oscar Mayer want to have an official Lego set? Generally, a company would probably say, you probably would be able to say yes, that a company would want that. Like, probably. I'm not saying certainly, but probably Lego is a brand, Lego is a company that brands would want to work with because it would, make them money. An official monster truck, the Wienermobile branching out to being a monster truck. Yeah, I guess maybe. No. As it is, Oscar Mayer is probably like, well, we've got the vehicle. And we scam people into driving it for us for free. So we're good. Because I do not know if this is still the case, but for many years, the Oscar Mayer Wiener thing was like a lottery system, and it was not like a job. It was like a congratulations, you've been selected to drive the Wienermobile in your state. Kind of a thing. WWE themed monster trucks. Yeah. There have been official monster truck Lego. There's been unofficial. They just build big trucks. But there's been some official ones. All right. Now is the part of the stream where we're not going to talk about Lego for a little bit. I'm going to talk about other things. Specifically, ways you can support the channel and what I do here. Everything I'm about to talk to you about is optional. You don't have to do any of these things. If you would like to, I would love for you to do that. But these are optional. These are just like, in case you want to support what I do here so I can keep doing it, you can. I'm going to keep doing some stuff. But if you want to help out, it would be great. First and foremost, if you are currently a subscriber to the Bill Bear Workshop, you get cool emotes. How about throw those emotes in the chat? Let the people know. Being a subscriber is the easiest way to support what I do here because you're already here on Twitch through Cash Money, which now is more than it used to be. And my apologies, I don't make those rules. Or your Prime Gaming token. If you have Amazon Prime, which also went up, and I don't make those rules either, linked with your Twitch account, you get that token. You use that token for anybody. And if you used it for me, that would be great because it would financially benefit me. Also, you could gift a sub, which does cost more than it used to. But if you want to join Unjan and the gift sub leaderboard, gift a sub to a lovely person in this community, you could do that. Or also, if you want to join Harold on the cheer leaderboard by throwing me some bits my way, I would appreciate that. It's nice when that happens. Again, you don't have to do these things, but if you want to, it would be great. Now, if you want to support me on a financial basis, if you were like, no, Pat, I want to put my money where my mouth is and help you out, but I don't want to give Twitch any money, I get it. Well, maybe I can consider, you could consider my Patreon at patreon.com /Pat Baer. There is a $1, $3, $5, and $10 tier. There are different rewards for the different tiers. Consider joining me on Patreon. Recently, my $10 patrons voted on a model kit that I will be building next, which I'm excited to work on. I had to actually look that up because I couldn't remember what it was. Now I do know, so that's good. Because I'm building the Lego set and then I'll be building that kit because they voted on it. Yeah, there are different rewards on the Patreon. Take a look at that. See if there's something that appeals to you there. I do have a YouTube channel, of course, youtube.com/Pat Baer. I post videos there quite often. Consider taking a look at my YouTube. I already said Patreon. But take a look at the YouTube. There's a membership over there. Subscribing's free, of course, but if you want to become a member over on YouTube, for just as little as $2, that's all it costs, you can become a member, and for that membership, you get my Wednesday video on Tuesday. I flubbed my words. My Wednesday video, you can get that on Tuesday. And the one that I recorded that's going up on Wednesday is pretty cool. So you can take a look at that early. That is included in AdSense, which I get for ads on my YouTube videos. And that money eventually, when I hit $100 there, I get a payout, and then I can buy stuff because they don't let you pay out. The threshold for a payout for AdSense is $100, unfortunately. It's only $50 for Twitch, which is nice. Let's see. Those are all monthly ways to support me. If you want to do a direct donation just once in a while, you can go to my PayPal, like a tip jar. You can go to my PayPal or my Ko-Fi. And everything I make through direct donations through YouTube, again, includes AdSense, so watching my videos helps me out. Through Patreon and through Twitch, all goes into a fund, and I take money out of that fund, and I buy model kits with it. I have a backlog, including the kit I'll be working on next. That is from my backlog, but I can't build my backlog yet because right now I'm building this, which Aristofan bought off my Amazon wish list. This Lego set I'm building now. It jumped the queue. And if you also want to buy something that jumps the queue and becomes the next thing that I build, you can do that by going to my Amazon wish list and buying something there. It'll come to me in the mail. I'll make a I'll make a dedicated YouTube video about the thing you purchased for my YouTube channel called the mailbag video about the thing you purchased, and it jumps the queue because that's the least I could do because you're kind enough to buy something for me to build. I'll build it as soon as possible. I've got model kits. I've got Lego sets. I got a bunch of different stuff on there. Inexpensive stuff, expensive stuff, Pokemon, Digimon, Gunpla, some knockoff stuff like Mold King. We built some Mold King cars. There is a thing called the Bat Sports Car. It is definitely a Batmobile, but they do not want to call it a Batmobile. So if you want to see me build a Mold King knockoff Batmobile, the Bat Sports Car, that's $22. I'd be happy to build that knockoff Lego. But yeah, I got model kits, Lego sets, expensive things, inexpensive things, some gear at the bottom. Do I think someone is going to buy a $53 model kit for me to build? No. But maybe someday the Gundam Geminis 01 will drop in price and someone will snatch it up. I don't know. But yeah, if you want to buy something and have me build it on stream, that means that I won't have to worry about my backlog for a bit. And that would be nice. Let's see. I have a Throne wish list. That is my alternative to Amazon. See if there's something on the Throne wish list that you would like to buy there. It's a lot of gift cards and stuff and some gear. And then the most convoluted way to support me, the one that requires so many steps and is so wild, you go to USA Gundam Store. You buy a gift card there. They'll send you an email with the gift card code. Then you send me that gift card code. You could DM me on Twitter, or you could send me a message on Blue Sky or Mastodon, or you could send me a whisper here on Twitch. And those are ways to support me if you would like to. And you know, again, those are all ways to do that are financially viable ways to support me. If you want to support me and not spend any money, you can join my Discord. My Discord is pretty cool, and I would love to have you hang out over on the Discord. I post build photos at the end of every stream. People post stuff they're working on. It is a nice place with cool people. I have a couple video links for you to check out, and then we'll get back to building this Lego set, building this hot dog food truck. Pat Bear's Anime Club. I talked about all 8 isekai that are out this season. One of which is not being not picked up by anybody. One of which we'll be talking about tonight. Several of which I'm watching. A couple of which that I'm not watching. I'm not watching the Edgelord one. I'm not watching the one that isn't subtitled and wasn't picked up by anybody. That looks cute. But I am watching a bunch of isekai, and I talked about all 8 of them and why I was going to watch it and a little bit about each. And again, we'll talk about one that I mentioned there tonight. And then if you missed last week's Kuma Baer, which is my weekly anime recommendation series, where every week I recommend a show. And all this month I'm recommending Spring, the Spring 2024 anime season shows. And I talked about Kaiju number 8. And I'm not seeing a lot of views on that video, so if you would like to see it, if you missed it, please check it out. It would be nice to get some numbers on that one, because they do affect the next one. And every time I have a one with low views, it decreases the chance that the next one is going to show up to people. It just seems to be the way, unfortunately. But I like doing it, so I'm going to keep doing it. Okay. All right. I am going to talk about some anime that I'm watching. One, an overview of it. One, a deep dive recap, because I'm going to be covering the show weekly because I really like it. And then one that I'm not going to keep watching, but I had to at least investigate. And before I do that, I'm going to dramatically transition back to the overhead camera, and then we'll get back into it. I'm going to drink a little water because it's time for me to drink some water. Here we go. If I pull back the glass far enough, my nose disappears because of the green screen effect, because the NVIDIA broadcast background remover doesn't know what to do with blue glass, and it just thinks like, oh, we'll just remove that. You don't need that, which is fun and silly. Anyway, let's keep working on this. We're going to work on the kitchen area here, which, again, this hot dog does not look like it should fit in there, but we need a hot dog, which we'll get here. And we need different components of the stove, the oven, or whatever. Because, you know, when I'm making... when I am working with... when I'm cooking a hot dog, I always keep it... I guess maybe... You know what I'm going to say? Maybe this is supposed to be a fridge and not that. I also want to just tell you that I can't find that piece. Oh, it's clear. That's why I can't find it. My eyes couldn't tell the difference between this being white and this being clear. Now that I really look at it, that is clear, and I can tell. I could not tell at first glance that was a clear piece. So I was like, why can't I find this spot? It's because there's a good reason. If you have not been watching Dungeon People, we're going to talk about episode 2. Episode 1 introduced us to this fantasy world. We're going to get way more backstory in this episode. That one was mostly just like, hey, there are people and they do stuff. And like, our main character is named Clay. She's a dungeon explorer. She's great at her job. She's part of the Thieves Guild, but that's not bad. That's just the name of the guild. Not necessarily bad. She's searching for her dad, and we didn't get a lot of information about like what the fuck happened with her dad, but she's searching for her. There is this. We find out she didn't know this. She knows about dungeons, and she knows like, yeah, monsters die, and you get an item from them, and she's good at exploring dungeons. Anyway, she gets offered a job from the runner of the dungeon, Langdis. Langdis is just like, hey, you want to work for me? And apparently Clay decides to agree to that and is like, yeah, all right, I'll work here. Maybe she's thinking I'll get more information and kind of unravel some mysteries or something, and it'll make it easier for her to find her dad. I'm not sure why she's chosen to take this job. Anyway, most of the start of this episode is just like backstory stuff about the world and kind of how it works. The region, basically, like, there was a dungeon, and the people of this region of Edtora were like, okay, we're going to name this Automerg. This is the Automerg dungeon. And people were exploring the dungeon, and they were getting resources, and then a dungeon town kind of like sprung up around it. There were inns because adventurers were coming, and that basically and guilds popped up around, and that's basically how all of this went down. Was like, because a dungeon was discovered, people were like, yeah, we want to check this out. So Clay is just like, there's a whole little section here about Clay like thinking about other people's fuck ups and her advances and her achievements. She is clearly very skilled in that. She got a job there. Langdis shows Clay her room and kind of talks about like the origins of it and how it used to be like kind of a dark place and not that pleasant or fun, and how she Langdis changed things to make, so by dark I don't mean light color. I mean it used to be like a black dungeon in that people were the employees there were very unhappy. So she was trying to make it a happy place for people to work. And they get a tour, and she's like, will this affect your job? And Langdis is like, we get the hint here. No, my main task lately was to recruit you. So for whatever reason, Clay was a high priority, and we'll probably find out more about that here. We learn a lot of stuff, but we don't learn why Clay is so sought after in here. We don't know the answer to that question. Let's see, a bunch of places. Eventually, we end up in the crystal room, and now we're getting into it. Okay, so how does this shit work? How does a dungeon run like a business if monsters appear and then you kill the monsters? Like, how does that shit work? Well, apparently you're not actually killing a real monster. You are killing a clone of that monster that contains a crystal, and then when that monster disappears, the crystal is left behind. So we don't have monster meat or any of that. You defeat a monster, you gain something, including the crystal. So you put a gem in there, and basically you put your personality into a clone, and you are in stasis, and then you're in the residential corner. So when your faux body gets destroyed, you just go back. Your consciousness goes back in there. There is so you don't die in the dungeon. They make that clear. So none of the monsters that are in the dungeon die in the dungeon. which is interesting. That explanation seems like it was important to say, because that does mean that people that work there theoretically would not be mad at Clay because she is obviously very good at killing them. And she has for a while, but she hasn't been killing them. She's been defeating their clones, which is like, okay, sure. Yeah, copies the body, puts them in there. Clay does it, and she's going to the 10th floor. And she's like, well, I'll definitely get stronger doing here. And they're like, oh, someone will train you on the job. Oh, there's also a thing where, hey, guess what? When you're put in your clone body, you're naked because you can't clone clothing. And that's something, that's a little bit of business, because they could have said that earlier and then didn't. Clay is so far, she's not, because she's a human, she's not going into the job so far of attacking people. Her job is to do resupply runs because she's very quick and agile. So she's doing that. Langdist asked Rangard. Rangard is the first monster that she works under. But apparently, I'm getting the sense that things aren't going great in this dungeon, because it seems very clear that they need to get Clay up to speed as soon as possible. So maybe there's some issues. Clay finishes all her missions very easy. And like, she's very fast, and everyone's like surprised about it. And then there's the first floor run, but on the first floor, she would definitely run into adventurers. So it's not a good idea at all for her to be in the first floor, but she insists on doing it. And she shows it. Basically, our girl is a thief class, so she's very fast and agile. She is she's a parkour person. Let's just say that she does, she doesn't do parkour, but she might as well do parkour. Gets the items, does the job. There's an issue on the second floor. She does fine with it. But the thing, so this episode ends with Clay telling Langus that, Rangard, there's two jokes in this. One, Rangard is like, I don't want you around the work golems. You're a bad influence on the work golems. What happens with the work golems? Well, she parkours to get around, and the work golems think it's very efficient and cool, and so they're trying to mimic her, but they're golems, so they can't do it. So that's a bad influence on them. So I thought that was funny. I thought it was a cute little thing where it's just like, nah, you're too fly and cool. That doesn't work. And then the episode ends, and this is not supposed to be humorous, this part of the episode, but Langus is just like, hey, now that you work here, we should become buddies. We should be friends. You seem very cool. And Clay is like, we can't because you're my boss. Boundaries. Work dynamic boundaries. I'm already really into Clay. Clay is occasionally goofy, but seems very reasonable in a world of weird shit. And also seems to really roll with the punches, because, again, she fully trusts the dungeon people, she fully trusts her boss to be like, yeah, so I do this ritual, and your consciousness goes into a copy of you. And she's just like, yeah, all right, makes sense to me. And obviously, fantasy world, all of that. So, you can say, yeah, Pat, it makes sense that she would be down with all of that stuff and totally go for it. But it's still weird. I could take the hot dog out of this. We're done with bag 1 here. We're going to get into bag 2. But I can take the hot dog out and put it in the frying pan. So we will put it on the frying pan. Oops, it fell off. Maybe we won't do that. Maybe we'll just put it back in the fridge. With the hot dog back in the fridge. And we can put our friend here, who definitely does not look like she works at this business, but we can put her in the hot dog. Again, she does not look like she works here, but sure. We'll put her in the hot dog. This is bag one. This was all bag one. So, Dungeon People continues to be very fun. I think this is a very cool series. I'm into it. I am going to keep watching it. I thought there was a lot of fucking backstory in this episode and not much action, but I thought the action was fun, so I'm here for it. I am hoping that episode 2 features, or episode 3, I should say, it features like introduces some characters, maybe introduces some adventure people, other adventurers. I feel like probably episode 3 is too soon for other people to find out what she's doing. But I don't know. I could be up for that. It does feel like like she doesn't know any of this shit, and I'm wondering how many humans know, and also why she got hired. There are questions with this, but I'm still interested in the answers. I don't think I'm going to keep watching No Longer Allowed in Another World. So, as I said earlier in the stream, when I heard about this anime, I had read a little of this manga, and I thought it was kind of interesting. Our main character committed suicide in a murder-suicide with his lover. And he, instead of dying, is reincarnated. Instead of being dead, he is reincarnated. And he is led to believe that somewhere in this fantasy world, this European-style fantasy world, is his lover. And that he will eventually be able to find her and just fucking die again. Because that's what he wants to do. That's all he fucking wants to do. Is do that. And the thing is, he's based on a real person. So this is a comedy because all he wants to do is die, and keeps getting in, but he can't die until he finds her. That's the thing, right? He didn't want to be reincarnated. There are a lot of isekai where the main character doesn't want to be there. He very much doesn't want to be there. But the thing that I need to say is that Danzai is a real man that existed. I'm going to look up, I wrote down his name here. Danzai Osamu is a real person that is like Edgar Allan Poe level dude that inspired people, and is like a real person that did die. And there are certainly things to think about. The idea of taking this real person who existed in this world and making them the main character of a manga that later became an anime that makes light of the fact that all he wants to do is die with his beloved. That's a weird thing. If he wasn't a real person, the juxtaposition of the goddess who thinks that he's attractive and interesting, the elf who has witnessed other people and was sick of fucking all of these goddamn otherworlders, but is intrigued by him not being interested in anything. The cat girl that he accidentally, inadvertently saves, who then gives a life pledge to want to like be with him and protect him. It would be pretty good. The number one thing I want to tell you about this goddamn anime is it's the best looking show this season outside of Oshinoko. It's the best new show this season in terms of art. I'm mad at how much money this show clearly got for what is a weird fucking, maybe wholly inappropriate isekai. Like, this probably shouldn't happen. Have happened. And it's wild to think that it did. I don't know. He wants to find Sachan and so they can go out together. Also, like, if given a okay, so I don't want to get too much into this and about how he did die in real life, and the woman that that signed a pact with him for it. I don't want to get too into this stuff, but there are questions that exist. He was a man who did, on several occasions, attempt to commit suicide. That is a true fact. Did he want to die with his lover in a murder-suicide pact? Was he murdered? We don't know, and we may never know. So this whole anime could be based on a lie or misinformation. We don't know. And it feels fucking weird. And again, it is a show that clearly makes light of this. He does not, here's the thing, he does not die in the way that he died in real life. It starts from a different thing of like, what if that didn't happen? Instead, he died in an accident that leaves him here. Because you don't want to. So basically the 1940s version of the truck attacking him. It's a lot. And then you also you have to be like, okay, well, this is a real person. This is a fictionalized, obviously, account of a real person. This is a weird set of circumstances. All of this is fucking weird. It's gorgeous looking, but also, is it funny that this guy that is like, this is the most unlikely main character of an isekai. But yeah, their incarnation sensei's different, so they like him. There's a cat girl. Also, he's so, like, he does not... It is kind of interesting to have a main character in a fantasy isekai that does not give a shit about swords and dragons and magic and all that other shit. That's kind of interesting. The idea is not new that a character in one of these shows does not want the harem that has been thrust upon him. Often those characters are dumb, or they are just in love with someone. He is wholly not interested because he is not interested in life. Do I think that joke would get old fast? Maybe. Do I think that everyone who watches this will go, this is a real guy that died? I don't know. I don't know if everyone that watches this show will have that knowledge to go, oh yeah, this is based on a real thing, and that's kind of interesting. Because like, me talking about it is, to me, much more interesting than telling you all of the events of this anime. Because there's like a cat girl that gets attacked by a plant monster, and you could guess what happens there. Like, we don't know her name yet. We'll hopefully know her name next week. But I don't know. And I also don't think I'm going to watch the next one. It's fascinating. It's interesting. It's the most, like, Nobunaga has been isekai. There have been characters, there have been like an isekai that is like a fantasy world about Nobunaga, and like a guy inhabits him. It's like that story, but done this way, or that story, but done this way. There's a guy who gets an ability. He's reincarnated with an ability, and his ability is that Nobunaga is like his advisor. There's a whole other isekai about a dude that has, well, it's not an isekai. There's a whole other show where a dude has like two different people inside of him giving him advice, and one is Nobunaga and the other one is like an otaku. Like, there's that. There is a show about Nobunaga being reincarnated as a dog. Like, cultural, real person. But not from the 1930s and 40s and 20s. I think he was born in 1920. It is, in a sense, what if it is an anime, and I think this is a real thing you could say. It's an anime about what if Edgar Allan Poe got isekai'd. Like, that is a very close and I think reasonable comparison point. And that's strange. Just on its face is a strange thing to say. And I don't know if it's good. But I do think it's interesting. And I do think it's kind of cool that it got an anime. And I don't know if I'm going to watch episode 2 next week. I might. Again, it's gorgeous looking. It's the best new show I've seen this season. But that's not enough if I think that it's like kind of fucking repugnant that it goddamn exists. Or at the very least, fucking weird that it exists. And just calling him, not calling him by his name, but because we all fucking know. Yeah, I don't know. It's a lot, and it's fucking weird. It's weird, and it's a lot. And that's the anime I've been fucking watching. There was no new episode. They took a week off of that time I got reincarnated as a slime. Let's see. That time, was it delayed? I don't know if it was delayed or they took a week off. Slime delay. Let's see. Did they post that or week off? Today, July 20th episode has been delayed till next week. Okay, so it was delayed. It'll broadcast a special program in Tetsura. Okay, so basically in Japan, it looks like they aired an episode that was a recap episode, and we didn't get an episode this week. Slight delay. Middle of third season main character. Yeah, you're telling me all this stuff. This is, I clearly looked at something that's AI generated. Okay, so it's been delayed a week. Yeah, it'll be out next week. Okay, great. And they aired something. Right. They did a recap episode, which eventually they might put up. Yeah, so I didn't watch that. Hey, Harold, welcome. So I didn't watch that episode because it didn't air. But yeah, I'm watching some stuff. I'm enjoying what I'm watching so far. Greetings for Tampa family trip. Busch Gardens tomorrow, weather permitting. Well, I hope weather's permitting because Busch Gardens pretty cool. So enjoy your trip, Harold. I hope you're having a great time with everybody. We've been hanging out. We're talking about some things and things. We finished a weird model kit. We are almost done. We will complete on this stream this Lego Friends hot dog food truck. We're going to wrap that up. So we'll get that going there. Because we are basically done here. On Monday, we will start a new model kit because we won't actually really start it tonight, but we'll get that done on Monday. And I do want to just say, I still don't understand what this is supposed to be, what this black sausage is supposed to be, but this doesn't even lock in anywhere. I'm just putting it on here, I guess. I don't know what that black sausage is supposed to be, but whatever. This is like the food truck shows up, and there's also like they take out of the truck these little stands. I'm not gonna put that out there. And then we're also gonna build some benches. Apparently, we got some seating here, so we'll build some seating. But yeah, we're almost done with this thing. Now is the part of the stream where I want to hear from you, friends. What are you watching right now? What are you playing? What are you into? Lord Crashington, I don't think it's supposed to be a burnt sausage because it's just out. I don't know what it's supposed to be. I thought it was maybe something for the cat because there also is this cat figure there. I don't know. I don't know what we're doing here, but we're building some seats as well. No table, but some seats. But yeah, if you're playing anything, you're watching anything, you're doing anything, let me know. I'm still playing Hearthstone. I got a new deck that I just started playing. It's an OTK deck, which is a one-turn kill deck. It has a little bit of a setup. It's honestly pretty fucking consistent. People have to do some goddamn nonsense to make it not work. You can fucking win with it. Have I lost with the deck? Of course I have. But mostly it's because I've had some bad luck drawing the cards I need, and not because other people have like destroyed me. Against like a really aggressive zoo deck, you can lose because the deck doesn't really have a lot of like board. It has some delays, but it doesn't have enough. But I have won a lot with this Paladin, with this OTK Paladin, so I've been enjoying that. And then also I've been mostly just hanging out. I am going to be playing some D&D tomorrow. I am getting up very early tomorrow to do something with my mother and uncle, which I'm not thrilled about. But we're doing that. I'm going to watch some wrestling with friends tomorrow night. I'm looking forward to that because I'm always looking forward to wrestling with friends. I'm going to put the kitty here. I'm going to put that kitty right there. Kitty does that? Yeah, kitty can go there. Great. Kitty works. Kitty works for the Lego, the hot dog cart now. We'll do that. But yeah, I've been having a good time with that. I did play some Helldivers 2 yesterday before I went out to dinner. Helldivers 2 continues to be fun. There has been some talk that, hey, man, that game's tanking. Not people moved on. They're not playing Helldivers 2 anymore. I still have no trouble getting games. The people I like to play with still want to play. We're still having a good time with it. I would say that is a bit of an exaggeration that people aren't having a good time with Helldivers 2 because I'm still enjoying my time with it myself. So anecdotally, I can tell you that it's pretty good. I'm trying to. They don't really sit in this because we got these little chairs, but their legs only bend that way. So I was like, oh, let me do like have them sit on both, and that kind of works. Maybe I could have this guy really lay back. When you fold it, there's like it doesn't work right, so I can't do that. So we'll just have them stand. And he's top heavy because this hot dog's too big. That's not gonna work either. I want to pose him because we're not gonna start a new thing. So I figured I got the time, might as well pose him. We can do like that. Have him stand on it. There we go. Stand on that. No, that's not gonna work either. But yeah, I'm still enjoying Helldivers 2. Do I play it every day? No, but I don't play. I play Hearthstone every day, so I should say I do play one video game every day. But I still get plenty of games in, and that's fun. Gonna do some D&D tomorrow. Squeeze some D&D in. That'll be good. Not my regular group. That'll be. I've already booked it. I'm gonna be playing D&D with some people. From the collective that I belong to. We're going to do a little one shot. I don't have to run it. All right. I've been trying to pose this person. I'm going to take the hot dog out of their hands and see if I can get them to stand up without falling over. Nope. Money won't do that either. Can I get this little minifig to stand anywhere? Okay, great. If I don't put anything in their hand, they won't fall over. Great. So instead, they've just put the money down to buy a hot dog, and the cat is just hanging out. So we have now staged this. This minifig is just like gonna buy some stuff and then go sit down, and this is our set for our fun little Lego. Harold played through the original Legend of Zelda on stream this past week. Nice. That's fun. That's a very fun time, Harold. Ghost Valve says, I'm in between Elden Ring and reading Transformers IDW comics. Cool. Also, Far Mountain Power Wash Simulator DLC. Nice. There's a lot of Power Wash Simulator DLC. I think the last one, we streamed it. I do think that Alice's adventures are fun. I feel like I wish that something happened at the end, and it didn't, and that felt a little anticlimactic, but they always kind of feel a little anticlimactic, because, like, what can they do? I don't know, but they didn't. I would like them to do something. I watched the last 2 episodes of Twin Peaks: The Return today, which I completely 100% understood for sure. Other that, a lot of Final Fantasy 14. Yes, Lashbrook, we all always immediately understand David Lynch and all that he's out there doing, because he always understands what he's doing, and he never does things for vibes. He's always doing things because he has a general idea of what they should be and what to do with them, and it's never he's never vibes based. And enjoy your Final Fantasies. Lord Crashington says, I've been watching X-Men cartoon, and while it's good, it has zero room for any downtime. That kind of makes it a little over dramatic. I mean, it's very fucking dramatic. A lot is happening because they are definitely cramming it in there. If it was a weekly series that aired on television, they would have gotten a bigger order, but also cartoons don't get big orders anymore. So this is kind of the way cartoons are. And so while I understand it, and while I wish that there was it could be a bit more, or a bit like slower, I totally understand why it isn't. All right, here's that set, and we'll take a quick look at that. I remember hoping the caterpillar's cocoon would open up at the end of that job. Yes, it would have been neat if we saw a butterfly, a big old weird butterfly. That would have been cool. Or if something changed at the queen's, at the court. That would have been kind of neat. Yes, those are things that could have happened in this Alice in Wonderland thing. That would have been kind of fun. Yeah, Lord Crashing, I totally agree. So we finished it. Thank you, Aristophan, for purchasing this fine Lego set. I really appreciate it. We'll look at the thing that I'm going to be building next. We're not going to start it tonight. We'll start it on Monday stream. But yeah, this was the hot dog cart, or hot dog food truck, Lego Friends. This is our first Lego Friends. It was plus 4 plus, so this was a beginner's Lego thing. So like most of the hot dog bun is one giant piece. Not ideal. The fact that it's an open air thing and not like a full thing is cute. Do I like this better than either hot dog? A burger. The burger truck, which is a flatbed truck with a burger on it. I love that. The monster truck that is a burger truck. I love that. The slushy. I thought that was fantastic. The ice cream truck, I think, is better. This is low on my list of Lego sets, but grateful for Aristophan for picking it up off my wish list. Happy to build it. I still think it's very cute. I love having a Lego cat. We have never looked at a Lego Friends kit, so it's interesting to look at the mini dolls, is what they call them. So that's kind of neat. Having a set that doesn't have any stickers, that's like an introduction, is kind of fun to do. Having a modern kit like that, this is what they thought like would be a good introductory kit for people. Obviously, I put it together fast. If I wasn't talking about anime and chatting with all of you, I would have built it even faster. Old-timey register, I like that. The fact that the hot dog is bigger than the frying pan is weird, but what are you going to do? I like the different drink. This is a little fun thing. The drink dispenser with the big glasses is a fun bit. So there's stuff about this that I thought was pretty neat. The next thing that I will be building, that I will be starting the next stream with on Monday. Did I save that? Yes, I did save that. Great. Is the Shin Burning Gundam. And we'll look at that. We're going to take away the food truck image here. Get out of here, food truck image. And we're adding image Shin. This is from Gundam Build Metaverse, which is the celebration of the Gundam Build series. The kit came out last year. So it is a pretty modern kit. Let me see where it is. There it is. Here it is. Big image. This is a big, high quality image. I just think this thing looks fucking neat and it's going to be a fun build. I'm going to make it smaller so it lives up there. Yeah, that's about right. But yeah, this is the next thing that I'll be building. I think it looks pretty cool. This is the Shin Burning Gundam High Grade. It won out a poll over Char's Gelgoog, which is just a Gelgoog that is red because it's Char's. And the Black Knight Squad Rudroa High Grade, which is a part of the line of the that. What lady paid for a food truck with $100? Rude. Yes. I did enjoy it. Thank you very much, Aristophan. I should say this is the guy. This is Leo. Leo paid with $100. But also, and the cat may be Leo's, and the cat might be. The cat is not meant to be in there. But now Leo works there, so that $100 is just hanging out. But yeah, the Shin Burning Gundam is a variation of the Burning Gundam. It's got some cool accessories on it. I love the shoulders. I think that is just cool looking. We can make this image nice and big so you can go see. It's got a lot of cool details to it. The photo I picked is not a full body photo, but I think it looks cool and gets the sense of it. There's a clear blue parts in it. I believe there are a bunch of stickers on this kit, but it's still going to look really rad. The color scheme is really good. We're going to start that kit on Monday because we wrapped this up, and also I don't have it within arm's reach, so I'd have to get up anyway to get it, and I don't want to. Also, I believe the bean saber looks real cool for it. So there's things to look forward to as we get back into working my backlog. We have built 3 Lego sets and a model kit. Were all bought off my Amazon wish list. So for the last little while, I've been building a bunch of stuff that people have purchased for me, which is incredible. And I appreciate y'all very much for that. We are about done, and we're wrapping up the stream here. So we'll get ready to do that. I do want to mention that we are going to end tonight's stream with a raid, because that is how we end every stream around here. We're going to go find somebody doing cool shit that we want to go hang out with, because that's the least we could do. So we'll take the party somewhere else. We're going to go find those people now. Who are we going to go raid? I don't know. I know that next week we will probably raid a couple times. Loading Ready Run, because they're going to be doing their subathon. They're doing their continuous 5 days at most subathon, so we'll be checking them out. But that starts on Monday, and of course, if we can raid Mary, we'll raid Mary on Monday, because we always raid Mary. But who are we going to go hang out with? Who's doing stuff? How long has they been going? How long have they been going? Oh no, they literally are almost done. So we are not raiding them. So we can't raid them. On Saturdays or any day where I don't know who we're gonna raid, when I don't know what to do, we fall back on the continuous show that is at least weird and cool. They are watching a show called Microfile, Files of Facts from 1987. So we are watching a weird show about technology from the 80s on Old Timey Computer Show. So we're going to go give Old Timey Computer Show a raid. They are very neat. That is a cool thing. If you haven't checked it out, you should hit the follow button. And sometimes I just like to tune in and watch. And occasionally the chat is just like reacting as if like it's new information to them or whatever, and it's a fun little bit of business. So come check that out. I think you'll enjoy it. And then come back on Monday, 9 p.m. Eastern, as I continue working on this start a brand new model kit, and continue building and talking to you about anime, and we might be bringing back Manga Monday. But I'll talk to you soon. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, 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 goodbye.